you need to trust the unknown. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess. I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. And it's so easy to feel the fear and get caught up in the fear of stepping out of our comfort zone and into the unknown, or not even wanting to go there with the unknown. And so with the unknown, there is uncertainty and instability. And you're feeling this internal conflict of, do I go to this direction or this direction? Or do I just stay here? And I know that I'll just feel safe and comfortable by staying where I am. But it's not going to give you the growth and the outcomes that you're looking for on a soul level that's going to help you expand and evolve into your highest timeline and into the highest version of yourself. And so with that in mind, we need to look into what are the fears that you are relying on to keep you safe in this level of consciousness of focusing and relying on comfort and safety to get you by, but it's not going to give you what you truly desire and deserve. And so whatever we want is always outside of our comfort zone and in the unknown. As soon as we learn to trust the process of entering the unknown, then we are able to let go of control and the logical mind of wanting to figure things out. And this is a hindrance to your miracle. So to give you an example of this, I notice that when I'm working with really hardcore clients that are quite difficult to coach or to provide guidance, and when this shows up for me, I am being shown how can I trust their healing process and not to control it, and just allow how things need to show up for them, even if they're still stuck in their ego or their ways of seeing things and doing things and being crippled in their trauma, where I simply just need to hold space for that and not provide any guidance until they are ready to receive that guidance, until they are ready to be guided. So when I've learned to understand that there is no point of controlling the situation, but to simply just trust what's going on for them, and I don't know how that's going to look like with their healing journey. And every time I do that, just trusting what they're going through and not be so caught up in their fears and be alarmed and anxious or worried about it, miracles show up when that happens, when I'm in the state of trust and flow and just really tuning into the guidance of my spirit to show me the way how I can navigate through this, to then help this particular client to navigate through what they're going through, whether it's guidance or no guidance, whether it's simply just showing up and holding space for them to move through and process what they need to process, or maybe it's just to allow them to be all of who they are in their shadow state. And whatever needs to show up is meant to show up. And that has been a massive lesson for me when it comes to trust. And so every time I am wanting to control an outcome or a result, I am always disappointed because it doesn't fall into place in the way I want it to fall into place. And sometimes it does. and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, I am constantly being reminded, hey Jess, it's time for you to let go of this and trust the redirection instead. And so the redirection is showing me, oh wow, this is what I needed to learn. This is why I didn't achieve the result that I wanted, because I have to go through this journey of letting go of being a workaholic and exhaustion, and to discover myself through fun and play instead. And so Spirit has a bigger plan than you and I have. And Spirit always has a better way of showing us how we can feel safe in the unknown, or trust the unknown, that the unknown has a greater possibility of leading us to our potential in a completely different way than you would expect it. And this has shown up for me so many times. I've experienced a lot of meltdowns and breakthroughs while I was building my business in Tokyo. And every time I would be there, I would get sick because there's an old programming that I need to resolve within myself by rescuing my clients and being a workaholic and do to get things done to achieve a certain outcome. And when I get into this overdrive of my masculine energy and it becomes quite wounded, and this is coming from a place of childhood trauma where I'm seeking my father's approval by being a workaholic and a high achiever, to be loved, to be seen, then I do that within myself and not being aware of it until I took some time out to reflect from my burnt out. And through this, it has shown me how to do things better, how to manage my masculine energy that's in overdrive. And some people struggle in tuning into their masculine energy to be driven. And some people are more in their feminine energy, but missing the masculine. Or some people, like myself, can easily get caught up in the masculine energy and needs far more time to drop into the feminine energy to soften, to be in flow again. So trust is the key in creating safety for yourself when it comes to the unknown. Trusting that the unknown has a far more better way and experience and outcome than you could have by controlling the situation and stay in your comfort zone. If you still feel that there is a block or a fear or a big resistance in stepping into the unknown, you might want to look into what sort of childhood traumas or ancestral patterns that you've taken on that is creating this fight and flight mode of taking one step forward and 10 steps backwards. So I invite you to come along to my full moon ancestral trauma clearing circle or my full moon inner child healing circle, or both, to do some clearing through my light language transmission as I guide you through in a quantum meditation to start dissolving old energy and blockages that you've taken on in your family dynamic and in your ancestors, to find peace within yourself and with your inner child. And I also have my upcoming free webinar on how to heal your money trauma, and you're welcome to dive deep within the realms of prosperity and poverty by registering in the link below. And also, I am running my Transforming Trauma 2-day workshop in Sydney, Adelaide, Tokyo, and London to dive deeper in an intimate container where you can truly start to transform the underlying root cause of what's keeping you stuck in resistance, in heaviness, in anger, in grief, in shame, in guilt, how to move through it with so many different modalities and techniques that I'm going to teach you, which is a lifetime skill, and to be far more integrated and grounded within your wholeness. That love is who you are, not fear. And so, by all means, please click on the links below if you feel drawn to this experience and you have an opportunity to book a free clarity call with me via Zoom to discuss how this can best support you with what you're going through, and if you required a tailored payment plan with your current situation as well. So there you have it, my love. Trust is a daily practice. It is a muscle that we have to work on to strengthen that experience of what life is like when we fully trust and surrender to spirit and not our programming. And just be curious, not in fear, but just be curious. If your intuition or spirit is showing you, hey, let's go to this restaurant to have a meal, and see what shows up. Maybe there could be a person that shows up in that restaurant, and you might have the most amazing connection that would lead to more connections. Or maybe you're meant to go to this restaurant because the meal that your body needs is nourishing itself from the inside out, and you're feeling this beautiful expansion, joy, and pleasure from the meal itself. And so the more we can just play with trust and see where it leads us and be open to the unlimited possibilities that trust shows up for us when we trust ourselves, life is so much more fun, joyous, and expansive, and of course, challenging when we go through the experiences of unknown and uncertainty and instability. But the more we go through these experiences of the unknown, uncertainty, and instability, you start to build a resilience through wisdom. And without those experiences, you won't be able to understand on a soul level how trust can serve you and how you can move forward into your highest timeline. If you got something out of this video, please give this a like, comment below, and share it with your loved ones. And subscribe to my channel so I can reach more people who are in need of this message. May you find yourself in trust.